Just a reminder what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said this week. I'd rather have a hole in the squad than an a-hole. Don is with us still. And right on cue, Craig Burley is with us. Craig, what did you make of this?
Well, yeah, I mean, it is a point that worth making, that, you know, when you have perceived bad apples, bad attitudes in the dressing room, then it's a problem for management. But that's a big insinuation to make on certain players who've left the club or who may be about to leave the club, shall I say. But clearly you want a united dressing room, excuse the pun, but you want to be able to manage, you want everybody to be happy, coming in, train well, play well. But I think to suggest that everything's rosy in the garden now that he's got rid of these players and everything's going to be great is a bit premature, because the season may restart and United have still got a job on their hands to get into that European place. And ultimately, if they don't do that, it doesn't matter if they've got bad apples in the dressing room or not.
Yeah, the insinuation, Don, isn't it, that Romelu Lukaku, one of these players, but let's not forget he left at the start of the season, a season that sees United, is it 37 points, I believe, Craig, off Liverpool at the top of the table. Alexis Sanchez not really involved because he was injured. So it's kind of weird, isn't it, in that people are going, yeah, he's right. You know, now he's really united this dressing room. We're ready to go forward. Well, wait a minute. These so-called bad apples, well, one of them left at the start of the campaign.
Yeah, but I still think it's probably an interview that he done honestly, and I don't mind it, to be honest. I don't mind it at all. I think it's a little bit of fun. I think he's obviously serious in what he's saying, and he's absolutely correct in what he's saying. You know, me and Craig have spent time in dressing rooms when you have got a bad apple in there and it's ruining things, and the manager's got a difficult job as it is. I think around Europe, I think there'll be some players asking the question. I think Lukaku, I think Sanchez, even Paul Pogba. I think it's an eye opener for everyone, and I think Ole's just showing his firm hand. If Fergie had said that 10, 15 years ago, no one would have batted an eyelid. So I think it's actually quite smart. It's a decent interview from Ole, I must admit.
Yeah, let's be honest,
Fergie
Dan.
won trophies. He was top of the table. He was doing well, Don.
Fans are gullible.
Yeah, but I mean, Ole's been there 2 minutes. I mean, you have to give him a chance.
He hasn't been there 2 minutes. No. This is a ridiculous statement that people keep giving him a pass. Oh, he inherited a bad squad. Oh, there are lots of bad apples. Oh, you got to give him time. What's he done? What's he done this season? Nothing.
Well, everyone was saying that about Fergie when he couldn't win a thing when he walked through the door at United. Listen, I'm not going to sit here now and say Man United are close to winning the league.
Don't be comparing Ole Gunnar Solskjaer with Fergie.
No,
Fergie had toppled the domination of Rangers and Celtic and beaten Real Madrid in a European competition. He had proven himself as a man capable of taking Man United to a level where he took them over a 25-year period. You know, you can't compare Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
I'm not comparing. I am not comparing the two. Listen, I've said on this show, and I'll stand by you, Ole might be the man, or might not be the man that ever delivers success at Man United. He's in the job at the meantime, trying to do his thing and trying to get United close. Do I think they're going to win the league in front of Liverpool and Man City? Absolutely not. Are they going to dominate Europe with the squad that he's got? No. But I see signs in his management, and I see signs in what he's trying to do in getting the bad apples out the door and making that Manchester United dressing room a little bit more united. He can only do it in the short term.
Fans are gullible, back. Fans are gullible. Even, you know, every fan's gullible. United fans as well. You know, they're desperate. I mean, and I understand things got way better before the lockdown for them, way better. But the bar was low. The bar was way low. Now there is a big fight on. They're in the mix of a big fight with, you know, let's be frank, with Wolves and Sheffield United and a Spurs side that were not great, and a Chelsea side that's not been at the best. They're in a fight with all these clubs and more for European places. And I think fans hang on to anything that they only remember what happened at the end. They've forgotten the poor stuff at the start of the season. They've forgot the gap to Liverpool. They forgot the gap it was to Man City last year. They're hanging on to the fact that here's a guy who's given an interview, an honest interview, a guy who played for them, but doesn't have a great managerial record. But he's made things a little better and a little happier and a little rosier in the garden for the time being. And fans will hang on to anything. And so that's what they're doing at the moment. But the proof will be in the pudding if the season restarts. And the proof will be in the pudding come next year when Liverpool and City and others go out and bolster again. And Man United will probably bolster. And then we'll see just what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is made of.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.